Hey guys, so here we're going to do what is called a salami shot. It's a funny name, but basically what that means is you take a single or double shot of espresso and you stretch it out across many cups. And this, long story short, allows you to really taste the individual portions of a shot. So the beginning tends to be a bit more on the sour and salty side. The end of a shot tends to be on the bitter side. The beginning of a shot, the first few drops, are very thick. They have a lot of body, like chocolate, like melting chocolate. The end of a shot tends to be like watery, no body at all. Okay, so blah blah blah. This is going to be great for one, just helping you understand sour to bitter, the range of flavors in a shot, but also help you fine tune your flavor, which helps you dial in to all of the variables that you may prefer. All right, so let's get started. We're going to work with a double shot here, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure out 18 grams here for our double shot, and we've got a pretty fine, especially fineness here. Zero that out. And let's go and measure 18 grams. Alright, 18.1, I'll take it. Just shake those up, kind of homogenize them. That way if you have some more fine or more coarse grinds, now they're mixed in a little better. Got our portafilter here, double shot basket. Alright. Got some distribution tools here. This is just to even out the grinds a bit. So now we're going to have 18 grams. This is just to make sure that we have even spread of those grinds. If it's uneven, what you'll have is what's called channeling, where if there's a path in which the water can take that's less resistant, then it'll take that path and it'll only extract in that area. And that's your worst enemy when pulling a shot of espresso. So, for about 30 pounds, or just kind of have a little press with gravity, nothing too much. What we're going to do here is we're going to pull our shot, but we're going to do it a little differently than we would normally do by extending the time or increasing the fluids that are pulled through the shot. Okay, and we're going to give just a few seconds in each cup. The beginning of the shot and the end flavors of a shot. And the middle should be usually about your most balanced, so that'll be a nice balance between some bitter, some sweet, some sour, but not too much of any. So let's give it a shot. And action. Give it about 5 seconds on each from the start of the first drop. This last cup didn't get much in it, so it's not really going to be a great tasting sample, but here we have 4 cups. The first one here should be much more sour. The last one should be much more bitter. The first one, it's very thick, almost like a warm syrup. This last one, it's practically water in texture. You really see a difference in how easily one moves versus the other. And I've got a glass of water here. So really what I'm going to do is drink the whole sip, think about it for a moment, consider, sweetness, saltiness, bitterness, sourness, and, just really focus on that. Drink some water, and do the same for each, and then compare. Now, if I decide that my middle cups are just right, then I may want to reduce the amount of time that I'm actually extracting the coffee from the grinds. If it's a little too sour, I might want to do the opposite. I might want to add a little more time to the end of that. And there is some more complicated stuff that you can do with this, but those are the basics for starting. So let's have a taste. So right there, it's got that feeling in the back of the jaw. It's a little salty, it's very, very thick, and overall it's just an unpleasant taste, to be honest. But that's not to say that all of these elements together won't be the perfect shot. Try cup number 2. Hopefully between the yellow and the green cup here, this will be kind of what we hope for an espresso shot to taste like. So immediately I instantly noticed that there's a lot less sharpness, and I don't have that feeling here. And the texture of it is kind of more like what you'd expect with an espresso shot. This first one, very thick. It doesn't really flow as smoothly. Not sour at all, which can be led to the fact that we have extracted this longer than normal in order to stretch it out more. So let's try this last one. Okay, so now we're getting like a bit more on the watery side, but it's still pretty good. It's kind of what I expect with an espresso. I feel like right here there's a bit of a natural sweetness, but not so much like you would think with sugar, but So it's a tricky thing to describe, but with some things like a very dark chocolate or things that don't really have sugar in them, you can still sense what you would think of as a sweetness, where it's not really a bitter and not a sour. This last one, you can see it moves pretty much like water. I expect this one to be our most bitter. So that one, that's where you're getting into like you're not going to get any zing, you know, it's nothing like a fresh fruit at all. It doesn't really have a sweetness to it either. It's pretty much just pure bitterness on top of water. You know, so I would say based on the average of these middle shots, with those being about what I want an espresso to taste like, for my preferences of course, that we're dialed in pretty well actually right here. And there you have it. So that allows you to get an idea of what the first part of a shot tastes like when that water first starts extracting, all the way to the very ending where it begins to kind of pull too much from that coffee, and that's where you get your bitters. If your average or your middle is too sour, or you're noticing sour all the way through, then you may need to extend the time that you're extracting, and vice versa. If it's just kind of bitter all the way through, then you may need to shorten your extraction time. But again, up to your own preferences. Everybody's palate is a bit different, and it'll change. And there's a lot of other factors based on, you know, the beans and so forth. But there you have it.